Let's do a bike check on the Supercross SX250 26-inch BMX Cruiser. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel, and thanks for stopping by. Hey, today we are going to be doing a bike check on the Supercross SX250 26-inch BMX Cruiser that Bernie and I built a while back. This is a special limited edition frame and fork set that came out to mark the anniversary of this design. They came out with a 29, 26, and 24-inch frame and fork set. I bought the 26-inch version. The 29 is already sold out. The 26 is sold out, but I believe the 24 is still available up on their website, and possibly even a 20. But anyway, there was only 50 of each, and so I got inspired because I saw a video by Isaac over at Big Bike BMX. He highlighted the frame and fork and build that he had, and so I was like, oh, let me check that out. I thought this frame set was really interesting. The chrome looked really good, and I thought, let's see if we can build one up. So I picked up the frame and fork, and then Bernie and I got to work and put this bike together. If you're interested in some of the build videos we did, I'll put a link up in the corner as well as links in the description below where you can check those out. But let's take a closer look at this Supercross SX250. All right, first let's talk about the frame and fork, and the chrome plating on this thing is amazing. Really, really nicely done. I mean, you can just see how shiny this thing is. Really, really impressed with what Supercross did for the chrome plating on this. And again, here are those interesting angles here in the rear triangle. Love what that looks like. They did a really, really nice job. The decals are custom. The decals I got made from someone else. I reached out to somebody that kind of does custom decals, told him I was going to do a build in kind of like a teal and purple. And then he turned around and just made a custom set of stickers for me, which I think really set this off, because I think the original colors were like blue, red, and yellow, and I didn't really like that. And so really happy with the custom sticker kit. I think that's what really also sets the bike apart. All right, the wheel set and tires. The wheels are from Harrow. They are just a simple, real basic set of rims. Just got them in purple, nothing really fancy. Does have kind of like that old school look to it with the flange. But you know, probably one of the more economical pieces to the build, because rims can get really, really expensive really quickly. I just opted to go for something that was purple that I thought looked pretty good. I didn't want to spend a ton of money on this build, and so I went with those Harrow rims. The tires are Panaracers 1.50 gum walls. I really, really like the low profile of these tires. My buddy Tyler over in Texas also has recently gotten into like skinny tires. He was always into the Vans, the 2.2s, but he saw some of these and was like, puts them on his bike, and he's kind of sold on the skinny tires now. But again, this is not a really expensive rim set. I wanted to go with something that was a little bit more economical after the Skyway build, because the Skyway build was so expensive. If you want to see that build, I'll put a link up in the corner. But to round out the wheel set, I do have an Originate freewheel in the back, and I like it because this thing is loud. Really like how that sounds. I do have a Cook Brothers oil slick chain, if you can kind of see that. It is one of 2 oil slick parts that I bought. I also have a seat post. Not sure where that came from. I think it came from like Amazon or something, but I just liked the look of that, the oil slick with the blue and purple. Cranks are from Rant. Also another really economical piece to this build. I think they were less than $100. George from the Night Bike Company helped us out on this build and provided some parts to us. So this is their spider and their chain ring. And then I also have the seat post clamp from Night Bike Company, which looks really good, as well as their Pro Neck stem in the 2 tones. I want to send a shout out to George, because he was the one that actually got the idea for us to use those 2 colors. When I asked him if he wanted to help out with the build, he said absolutely, and was like, what colorway are you going with? And I said, I don't know. And he was the one that suggested teal and purple. So thanks, George. And thanks for the support too. And then the last piece of the Night Bike Company puzzle is their chain tensioners. I really like how those look, along with the Billet BMX, these nuts. I have those axle nuts in the front and back in purple. And then of course, you cannot miss these Billet BMX pedals. I mean, these are incredible. Super stoked with how they look and how they function. They're really sturdy. The chrome and purple I thought looked really, really well with the bike. And so I reached out to Morgan and got these sent over, and these are super, super nice. I'm really, really happy with that. In fact, I have another set on the racing build that will be coming out with another bike check in the future. In the back, I got rear calipers from Paul Components. I picked them up mainly because of the color. I mean, I do like Paul Component stuff, but I'm not a fan of these because of the way that they kind of stick out like this. And it's just the way that, I don't know, just how this bracket is holding the brake pads. There's just not a lot of room to get this to be straight. They don't come out a little bit. And so these tend to kind of stick out. I don't know if you can kind of see that. So I'm not super happy with that. Might be changing that out, but that's what we picked up for the rear. And then in the front, I do have a Cook Brothers lever, which I am going to swap out for something, a Paul Component one in purple that I actually have, but I just haven't had the chance to swap it out yet. I'm just not happy with these. They're thin here. I just don't like the feel of them, and so I'm going to swap it out. Grips are just simple grips from Shadow Conspiracy. I wanted something that was in this kind of light bluish, kind of teal color. The other thing that's really stands out on this bike is the handlebars, and that's from Nowhere BMX, and it's that old school V style. And this is actually a pretty high bar. If you take a look from here to here, I believe it's like a 9.5 maybe. So it's a tall bar. I like my bars tall so that I can have my hands up higher when I ride. And I just thought this was really interesting with the old school V style. It is a little lower than what they used to be, when we were back, riding bikes as a kid. The older style V styles were a little bit higher. This one's lower, but I still like them. They're made by Nowhere BMX in this purple color. As far as the seat, I rock this seat on a bunch of my bikes. This is the Originate, I think it's a Sport. And, again, this is another thing that people like or don't like on it. It is not the most sleek seat for sure, but it has a lot of cushion. And my rear needs a lot of padding, especially if I'm going to be riding on some longer rides. So I opted for comfort. I still think these look really nice, but that's an Originate seat. And that's the SX250 from Supercross BMX that Bern and I built up a while back. If you're interested in seeing the build process from frame and fork all the way up to the completed bike, I'll have links in the description below. You can check those out when you have a chance. I'm really happy though with the overall end result of the bike. I think the parts we use are really, really nice, if I do say so myself. Can't thank George and Morgan enough for their help in making this happen. George over at the Night Bike Company and Morgan over at Billet BMX. I think their parts really accentuated the bike a lot. I just love how everything turned out. And if you're looking for parts to customize your BMX bike or cruiser, check them out. I have links down below. They have a ton of different things that you can use to kind of upgrade some of the parts on your bike, and lots of different colorways to choose from. So please go and support those guys as well. Hey, if you stuck around this long, thank you guys so much. Consider liking, subscribing, and maybe even sharing this with somebody who might be interested in this kind of stuff. And hey, we'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Until then, hey, take care of one another, be safe, and aloha. And that is the SX. And that's the Supercross SX250 bike check video. Before I get out of here, I do want to send a huge shout out to George over at the Night Bike Company. please check those guys out. I'll also have links in the description below on for kind of like old school BMX content. We'd love to have you guys join our community if you're not already a subscriber. And until then, hey, that was pretty good too.